Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going? Welcome to episode number 1182. That's right, episode number 1182 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live today, back at the SF Day Trail. The sun is out. That's a little chilly. It's in the low 60s, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. Back here at Bear Island. This is day 14 of the GNA Positivity Challenge, and today I'm going to be sharing some major updates regarding my civil court case with, excuse me, with a defendant that has violated me in many ways out here on the YouTube platform. Slander, which is a form of defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, malicious prosecution. He tried to get a stalking injunction on me several months ago. Accused me of many things I never did, including he accused me of sexually harassing his mother and just other things that simply just have never happened. The case was dismissed for insufficient evidence. There's abuse of process as well. During that case, the defendant in the case where I'm suing him, he was the petitioner, plaintiff in that case. Petitioner is what they call it in those injunction cases. The defendant used a process server that's been used before by other people in his drama community on YouTube, because they know who he is and they know that he'll give these people that use his services the body cam footage to use on YouTube and then make a spectacle out of the service of process, which is abuse of process, right? So we've got some major updates today that I'm going to be sharing. I'm sharing this because, again, I want to teach people a lesson. I also want to share my experiences of dealing with the court system and dealing with slander, defamation, dealing with being, wrongfully violated on the platform. It's happened to many people, and many people, they feel that there's nothing they can do. They just have to deal with it or just leave YouTube, right? Some people have left YouTube over stuff like this. Some people have even done worse. I'm not going to get into that. Hopefully no one ever gets to that level, but some people have, right? And I'm here to tell you through my stories and my experiences that you do have options. You do have options, even if you can't afford an attorney. I can't afford an attorney. I'm representing myself pro se in a major circuit civil case against this YouTuber that's a defendant that has, again, slandered me for many, many years as his primary form of content that gets him traction and makes him the most money. And I basically, ended up having enough. It's one thing to insult people. It's another thing to defame their character by, stating, criminal acts that have never been committed as facts, because you're leading your primary audience, that is a group of haters of mine, to believe something about me that isn't true as true, right? It's just not right, and it's severely tarnished and affected my reputation on this platform. This person has also followed me all over YouTube. He watches my every move, every community posting, wherever I go on, wherever I used to go on some live stream panels as a guest, he would find out I was there because I would always share the stream out to help the other creator. It's the right thing to do because they welcomed me on their show. And he'd find out about it. He'd show up. He would, behind the scenes, rally up the troops, let's call it that, and get the same group of people, half of them of which are anonymous sock accounts on YouTube, to come and flood the chat of any other creators' live streams that would be a part of. Then the creators would wonder what's going on, what's wrong with this guy, and then sometimes the defendant in my case would even pop on that current stream while I was on, or he would wait until after I would leave, then he would go on and basically tell them, in his words, the truth about me, which, hey, some of the things he said was right. I made a few mistakes, but other things he lied about. He flat out lied about. Right? And between himself and many other people in his group, between sock accounts, unidentified accounts, and then, several other creators in this community, they would amplify the defamation and amplify bad things about me, so that way, whenever people would search for me on YouTube or Google, that would have otherwise probably supported what I do, they used to see all of this horrible stuff that primarily isn't true. Now, most of that stuff has been removed over the last few years. I've been working hard to get it taken down through YouTube's copyright system and also community guidelines and other stuff, right? Hateful and abusive content and all that. I've worked hard to basically, trim that down. There's still a few things out there if you dig deep, but it's been pretty suppressed. So, for the most part, it's gotten a lot better with the content that's available out there. What hasn't gotten better is what the defendant and other creators that he works actively in concert with, meaning they work together, right? They're known associates, and they amplify all the negativity about me. And it used to be primarily about defamation. Now, they've slowed that down over the last couple of weeks because I've made some court filings that apparently has gotten through to them, even though they haven't mentioned that those filings have gotten through to them. The way that they're reacting and overreacting tells me and shows me otherwise. It's one thing to say, what you're saying, and then the tonality, and then the massive, outrageous, very loud and triggerish type of responses. It shows otherwise, right? I'm here, I'm cool, calm, and collected. I'm just sharing my story. And at this point, I'm just finally feeling that I'm actually getting somewhere to regain my reputation and regain the trust of the YouTube community and other aspects of the internet over things I never did. I'm working hard to regain my trust because of what this guy put out about me as his content to sell to his audience, while using large amounts of my content, massively violating my copyright and all that, right? I've had to work hard to regain that. While at the same time, I've been working hard filing the right paperwork in this case. If you want to come in here and troll regarding the defendant's girlfriend's posting earlier and you folks thinking that it triggered me, it did not trigger me. Yes, I did see most of the replay of the live stream from the woman that actively works in concert with the defendant, the other woman that I've been in litigation with before in the past, and she lives in the same state as the defendant. Yeah, and I saw how you folks reacted to that. We'll get to that in a little bit, but just so you know, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I'm not triggered by her long-ass posting, ranting because she fears discovery is coming, and her harassing and defamatory behavior that she's amplified of the defendant will expose her real name. That's what she's worried about. That's what they're all worried about. They're all worried about discovery. And discovery may be coming sooner than you think. We'll get to that in a little bit, right? We'll get to that in just a little bit. But yeah, no, hey, you folks can post whatever you want. As long as you're not slandering me. She wasn't slandering me in that posting. She was saying some pretty nasty, insulting things, right? By the way, Louisiana man, we'll be handling you at some point soon. The proper ways, the proper legal ways. I mean, it's it's just absolutely comical to me how I live rent-free in your head. Here's the thing, and I'm not making this mistake ever again. You see, here's the thing, and I'm trying to say this as respectfully as possible, just to teach a lesson. I'm not trying to be critical or anything. The truth of the matter is I live rent-free in all of these people's heads, especially now when they've all been put on notice for acting in concert and amplifying defamation. And now they're running around and they're so triggered that they're continuing to amplify things. Now, they've been careful to not say, I haven't seen anything defamatory in the last few days, which is telling to me that they know this case is real and discovery is right around the corner. Again, discovery may be coming around sooner than you think. We're going to get to that in just a little bit here, okay? Hey, ODN, how are you doing? Look at that sun. Isn't that beautiful, babe? ODN, Tia. I'm glad I'm back on this trail. I really love this trail. I love this walk. I'm only going to do 3 out of the 3.5 miles here today like I've been doing lately because it's going to start to get too dark if I go the entire 1 3/4 miles out and back. So I cut the last corner, that's a 1/4 mile, and shave off a 1/2 mile, and then I'll just walk another 1/2 mile or mile in the parking lot. And there are lights there. It's by the marina, beautiful scenery, palm trees. It's all good, right? Oh, and by the way, defendant's internet girlfriend. Respectfully speaking, okay, you're entitled to your opinions about my content and why my channel hasn't grown or hasn't really changed much since 2018, like you said. Like, you weren't even aware of me back then. See, here's the thing. Like, you've only known about me for like a couple of years since you've been around the defendant, right? And so, I mean, you don't know the entire backstory. But again, you're still entitled to your opinion. You're also entitled to insult me all you want. And quite frankly, your insults are rather comical, right? Now, if you defame me, I'm going to screenshot that. I'll screenshot everything regardless, right? You preserve everything in case you need it down the road, right? But here's the thing: you defame me, I'll file that, and then that's more of a reason to compel Judge Stacy, if and when it comes time, to ask her for a court order to unmask stock accounts from Google and YouTube. So let's get into this here today. What's happened here today? Some major things happened today. I woke up this morning, and the first thing that happened, the woman that's acting in concert with the defendant, right? She's one that's been trying to intervene in this case without permission from the court, right? Good evening. How are you doing? Welcome. She made like 5 or so non-party filings like a few months ago or a month and a half ago, right? She also tried to schedule a hearing several times over the last month and a half or so, emailing the judicial assistant for Judge Stacy, right? Even in one email, the judicial assistant even told her that you are not a party to this case. And when you're not a party to a case, you have no authority to file motions except one. There's one she can file. I'll get to that in a second. She hasn't filed that yet. There's a reason for that, in my opinion, right? So you can't file motions and you can't request a hearing. Today, I get served the document by her because she's on the electronic e-serve list, right? Because she's made filings in this case in the past, right? Without requesting leave of court. What she would need to do is file a motion to intervene, right? That's what you need to do, ma'am. And you already know that because I've told you that before in the past. You've looked it up. You need to file what's called a motion to intervene. If you file anything besides that and then don't get approved to be a part of the case by Judge Stacy, then everything else you file will be stricken at some point. And Judge Stacy will see that you're clearly acting in concert, not only on YouTube with the defendant, but also within this court case. You're acting in concert based on the previous filings and how closely timed they were. You guys were trying to flood the docket. You guys were trying to overwhelm me so I couldn't respond to everything. And I did respond to everything perfectly, right? You thought you could overwhelm me. Overwhelm and destroy, right? Didn't work. Doesn't work with me, right? I'm cool, calm, and collected, right? So, she files this motion. I forgot exactly what it was called. Motion to address non-party status in her name, right? What right do you have to file in this case? You need to file one document. File a motion to intervene. Request to be a part of this case. That's the only thing you can file, right? Now, she's not going to do that because if she files the motion to intervene and Judge Stacy approves her to be a part of this case, there are different capacities she can become a part of the case. Maybe Judge Stacy will award her limited third party status or whatever, right? Whatever it would be, right? The moment she gets approved into this case, she opens herself up personally to discovery, and she doesn't want that. She doesn't want that because, see how the stock accounts are triggered so badly in here, huh? So triggered. I'm just sharing the truth. I'm cool, calm, and collected. I'm sharing the truth, and you're all massively triggered. Like, I just don't understand. Well, I do understand because you're all boxed in legally, right? You're legally boxed in, and there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, right? It's just my opinion. It's actually pretty truthful. It is truthful. You're boxed in, right? You're boxed in with the filings. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, and you're here. Wait till you hear what's coming up, right? TS says he is weak, in my opinion, doesn't care who he involves or hurts. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't. He doesn't care. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? ODN says, the troll's trying to use my lingo. That's funny. Oh, it's your buddy Louisiana, man. Or our buddy, right? ODN, you're right, Tia. The defendant's girlfriend has no professionalism. Dawn is far more professional than the defendant's girlfriend. The defendant can't get himself a good woman, in your opinion. I think he wants to... I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Listen, I'm not here to, discuss anyone's orientation. You can be whatever you want to be. Oh, yeah, Louisiana man, I did say that about 7, 8 years ago. I said that to ODN in a privately recorded conversation, and the defendant tried to use that against me in the stalking case. It didn't fly. It was 8 years ago, and you know what? Nothing ever happened. It was a private conversation. I had a misunderstanding with ODN. He's a friend, and we had a misunderstanding, and we now understand why that happened. We've forgiven each other. It's not a big deal. But you want to keep making a big deal out of it because you have nothing better to do with your days. You're miserable at home, in my opinion. So it's all good. It's not a big deal, man. Like, I did say some dumb things. I never took any action. I never harmed anyone. And those were all done privately. And that's what a lot of these people in this group do. They basically record you without your permission. And listen, I've forgiven ODN because I understand why he was doing it. People were taking advantage of him, but other people have done it for way more malicious things, right? And to use it as content, ooh. I've got the privately recorded conversation. Ooh, okay. So anyway, so she files this motion regarding her non-party status, procedurally improper. You have not requested leave of court, meaning requested a motion to intervene. Without that being requested first, filed with the court, and then Judge Stacy would have to approve it, you have no standing in this case. Even if you're listed in the factual allegations, it's supporting evidence of you acting in concert with the defendant. GOM is a good woman. I noticed she deleted one of her comments off of my videos lately, though I think she's mad at me. Nope. She put one of her channels, she hid one of her channels. Louisiana man, ODN and I are not falling out ever again. We would have never fallen out in the first place if we had the same understanding we have today, right, ODN? It was a misunderstanding of these people pitting us against each other like you. So, I mean, it's okay. You keep coming back on your multiple stock accounts you spend all day generating. It's all good, man. It's all good. Goose fraba, man. You remember anger management? You need some anger management, man. Goose fraba. Right? Well, maybe it's because, yes, she put one of her channels to hidden because she got 2 community guideline strikes. And, yeah, her channel was flagged down. And when I say flagged down, it wasn't terminated. It was flagged down 2 times. So she hid it to protect it, and she's on a different channel. Eli and I are cool, and those old recordings were taken out of context. People edited them and spliced them up, and we'll testify to that in court if they're brought up. That is true. They were edited out of context as well. They were really edited, right? But even then, okay, I overreacted privately behind the scenes. Nothing ever happened. The person that I was even talking about never said anything. Okay, these people, they just have nothing, right? When you have them boxed in, they'll look for anything that they can use against you to try to reclaim control and the narrative and all that. This is about reclaiming dominance and power and control. For me, it's about clearing my name. I don't care about dominance and power and control. I'm cool. I'm secure within myself. Insecure people care about power, dominance, and control, right? Right? That's all. That's the truth of the matter. But anyway, so this woman then emails the judicial assistant again today and asks for another hearing. And the judicial assistant said, do not include me in the coordination emails. She also told the judicial assistant that, the fire truck is actually, is it on the freeway? I think it's on the freeway, yeah. Oh, wow. There must be a major accident up there. Oh, I see cops up there. Hopefully everyone's okay. Anyway, she told the judicial assistant that she emailed me to try to set up a hearing. And I ignored her. I didn't respond to her. I never got your email. And you know that. I never got your email, and you know why I didn't get your email. You see, earlier this year, I filed a civil harassment order. It was denied with prejudice. They're hard to get. I had plenty of evidence, but they're still hard to get when you're 2,500 miles apart from each other, right? That's why if you have an issue on YouTube, you've got to go to civil court or copyright court. But anyway, unless someone makes a clear death threat or is clearly stalking you, it's not going to, it's no matter what, even like if you're getting really harassed, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so in December of 2024, in the stalking case, she had emailed 3 of my family members, my brother, my mother, and my aunt, unissued, unsigned subpoenas to get them to come and testify at the hearing. She never ran it through the court. And the judge basically told her it's abuse of process. She was also made aware of by the judge that the 911 wellness call that she made to the house, regarding Don and I, he said that, swatting is a crime in California. So basically, the judge acknowledged all that. You already know how I was violated, troll, Louisiana man. Or whoever you are, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're someone different. It doesn't sound like Louisiana man trolling style. Somebody else is really, really triggered, right? Could be anyone. That's why subpoenas are important, right? You can find out who people really are no matter what they say, right? So I made the judge aware. The only reason why I found out is because my brother, and I put that in the filing. My brother emailed me and he forwarded me the email because I had this woman blocked. I blocked her on my email earlier on in 2024 because we had gone to court previously over a business dispute that got resolved. We settled, and she was acting nice to myself and my lady for a little while, but then she started right back up because she realized She needs Eli defamatory content to survive on YouTube, in my opinion, right? So I blocked her email. She knows that. She accused me of not responding to the judicial assistant. First of all, ma'am, respectfully speaking, which I don't really owe you any respect, but I'm a respectful person in general. You have no standing in this case. You have zero standing in this case. You're not entitled to a hearing. You're not entitled to file any motions except one, a motion to intervene. So I don't owe you a response. Secondly, I never got your response because you know that I blocked your email because you've been harassing me. Okay, that's documented in the certified transcript of that hearing, which I also filed in the case currently here with, and we're in the circuit civil case. Everything's filed because I knew you were going to try to intervene in this case without doing it the proper way, just to be a distraction. What I think she's doing, in my opinion, and you let me know in the chat, she's making these filings purposefully, in my opinion, with the exception of the one that she has the rights to file, a motion to intervene. She doesn't want to file a motion to intervene because if she's actually allowed to intervene in this case, it opens her up to discovery. And then I can, then it's a whole new ball game for her, right? So why don't you file your motion to intervene? What are you waiting for? I'm just saying, like, if you really want to be a part of this case, file your motion to intervene. And if you don't file your motion to intervene, then not only will my audience know that you're full of it, in my opinion, so will your audience. So file the right paperwork to, if you really want to be a part of this case so badly, because it seems like you need some more attention, in my opinion, right? If you really want to be a part of this case so badly, file a motion to intervene. And then at that point, I believe you may be entitled to a hearing at that point. But let me tell you what's going to happen. When you file a motion to intervene, I'm going to file an objection and motion to strike. Because, in my opinion, all you are is a distraction. You don't care about the case. You care about keeping the drama going for your content, right? And I think it's become pretty obvious to Judge Stacy, right? We are at 33 minutes? Yeah. Let's start heading on back. So, yeah. More noise by this woman. Unless she files a motion to intervene, everything she files is irrelevant. It'll get stricken down. It doesn't mean anything. And it also makes the defendant look really bad because it more so proves that they're acting in concert. Hey, how you doing, GLM? Hey, Eli, Dawn, Cork, Tia, ODN, and everyone. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. So now, here, you made it just in time for the big news, right? So after the same woman that's suing you tried to intervene again in an improper way, in my case today, GLM, the actual defendant and I yesterday, we coordinated a hearing date for a total of 4 motions regarding the regular part of the case. Okay? Now, let me remind all of you here. Right now, this civil circuit court case is in what's called a stay. It's in a stay, meaning that after I filed the case, the defendant had 2 options. He could have responded to my complaint within 20 days, and we'd move right into discovery. He didn't want to go into discovery. So he filed a motion to dismiss slash anti-SLAPP, which grants him the opportunity to get this dismissed before the case even starts by flexing his muscles and saying, you're violating my protected speech. And I'm saying, no, you're slandering me, and I have all the proof out of your mouth, on your mouth and your voice and your videos, and there's lots of proof of it, right? And last month or so, I think it was a little over a month ago or so, around that time, we agreed to the closest available hearing for 1 hour, January 9th, 2026, okay? So what happens between now and then? The case does not move forward into discovery until a decision is made on the motion to dismiss slash anti-SLAPP, right? But now, recently, the defendant made all these filings accusing me of spoliation of evidence. I didn't spoil any evidence. I offered him the evidence. I put 200 YouTube videos to private to protect my channel after it got a community guideline warning. And I offered him all the evidence. I emailed him. I offered him all the evidence. I would host it on my private server. He'd have a link that is similar to an unlisted link on YouTube where he can download the video or stream the video from anywhere, right? Or anyone with the link. He turned that down and said, I'll let the courts handle this, right? So basically, he filed a motion on me accusing me of spoliation of evidence and adverse inference. I offered him the evidence. The evidence is not spoiled. It's, first of all, those videos are sitting on my channel on Google and YouTube servers on private, and I also have backup copies that I can send to him right now, same exact ones that he can also verify through the transcripts that he already has. And I know he has them because he filed the transcripts. He filed screenshots of having all the transcripts. This guy's made so many procedural errors. He basically said, I have proof that he took those videos down because I have all the transcripts of them. Well, how'd you get the transcripts of them? You went to my YouTube channel, you took the link and put it in a transcription service, and then you downloaded them, right? So you have all the evidence. And if you don't have the videos and you're relying on my YouTube links to stay public for your court filing, now that those are private, I'm offering you the same videos that you can verify with your transcript. That's not going to fly in court, but he filed a motion to for sanctions of spoliation of evidence and adverse inference. Not going to fly. And he has another motion. I can't remember what it is. And then I have my two motions, right? So he went to the judicial assistant and requested another hearing. Now, let me make it very clear here. Until we get past the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP and the case survives, my case survives, there's no reason to schedule a hearing in the future, right? But what happened? He requested a hearing. The judicial assistant offered him, a 30-minute hearing, or offered us a 30-minute hearing. I believe on February 3rd, 5th, or 6th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right? Now, before you folks even ask, everything is automated in the judicial system nowadays. I've read about it. I've asked ChatGPT. I've asked Google. What happens before they schedule a meeting? The judicial assistant will reach out to the judge, in this case, Judge Stacy, will make the judge aware. The judge looks at our current case and looks to see if there are any other pending motions on the screen. Okay? So, Judge Stacy, I'm not sitting next to her, but this is what the procedure is. Judge Stacy looks at the screen, sees that there's a motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP coming up on January 9th. But now the defendant is requesting a hearing for motions that would only apply once my case would survive the motion to dismiss and anti-SLAPP, right? The judge, I'm assuming what happened, the judge gets back to the judicial assistant and tells her to schedule the meeting. So the court is not going to schedule a future hearing that isn't necessary, right? The court was not going to schedule a future hearing that isn't necessary, right? So the fact that today, this morning, the hearing was scheduled and inputted into what's called JACS, Judicial Automated Calendaring System. I got the email. The hearing has been set. And the 30-minute block, they do it by 15-minute blocks. It's two 15-minute blocks for a total of 30 minutes, but let's call it a 30-minute block for simplicity, right? The 30-minute block has been inputted, right? Pretty interesting, huh? Okay. Again, the court's not going to waste resources scheduling a future hearing that's irrelevant if they're thinking that they're going to outright dismiss my case, right? If Judge Stacy was going to outright dismiss my case, she could have already done it without a hearing. Judges have the authority to rule on the papers. And whether people know this or not, we're not entitled to a hearing. We're only offered a hearing if the judge feels one is necessary because there's not enough information on the papers or the judge wants to hear more before making a decision, right? So it's been like, what? Almost 2 months now, around 2 months since he filed the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, and my case is still surviving. And a future hearing has been set almost 1 month after the hearing date of the motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP. And if you don't understand what that means, I'll make it very clear for you folks. Setting a future hearing means that the case is active and is moving forward. Let me repeat that again one more time. Setting a future hearing means that the case is active and is moving forward. Now, I can tell you, the defendant, who's also probably live right now, it doesn't matter to me, whatever, he can do whatever he wants. He's probably going to say completely different things to his audience, but I mean, look, there's no other way to say this, but he knows he scheduled a hearing for motions that concern the case once the motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP is decided. Okay? Now, hey, who knows what's going to happen? If Judge Stacy, and this is my opinion, if Judge Stacy has allowed another future hearing regarding the actual part of the case to be scheduled, and they run their docket very tight there. Okay. Because it's taken us a while to get a hearing. Like the hearings are 3+ months out. They run the docket really tight. Right? If Judge Stacy was thinking that my case would be completely obliterated at the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, she would not have offered that hearing, in my opinion. They don't waste judicial resources like that. What would have happened if that was likely the case? The judicial assistant would have said, right now we're dealing with the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP. All other motions, the judge wants all other motion hearings put on hold, right? That didn't happen. Now, I'm not a mind reader, but I have common sense, and you look at it logically and make your own opinions on it, right? But I will say this. They are for real straight up stalkers. None of them have any lives or joy or Jesus. You're probably right. I know, bro. I know. Hey, Angels, how you doing? GLM. This dude was trying to troll a chat and made a true comment about him stalking Eli, and he bounced with a quickness. One effing comment. Rustic Welcome, says GLM at tagged for. That's all good, ODN. Let him do what he's gonna do. You know? I mean, here's the thing. All his audience has to do is go to the docket and see what's going on. He knows what's going on, right? So what does that mean? What can Judge Stacy do? I'm not saying this is what she's gonna do, but this is what the options are. Judge Stacy could have already outright dismissed my case on the papers after the defendant filed his motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP. She didn't do that. It survived pretty much 2 months since that time because my filing is valid, right? Now, what can she do now? What can she do now? She can hold the meeting still. It's still on the book. Or it's still in the books for now. The motion to dismiss hearing on January 9th, the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP hearing on January 9th, still on the books. She can still choose to have us go to that hearing, or she can decide to rule on the papers, and maybe she's seen enough out of all these filings to put 2 and 2 together and look at the defendant's motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, look at my second amended complaint, look at all the additional filings that I've put in there regarding his behavior. The woman that I listed in the factual allegations has been trying to intervene. She hasn't done it the right way. She's filed pretty much every other document to clutter the docket except the correct one, which is a motion to intervene. And she's not doing that, in my opinion, because she doesn't want to be a part of this case, because then it opens her up to discovery and a whole lot more. I see what you folks are writing. I'm not going to respond to everything. I'm going to be honest. I'm jealous. Y'all still got sunlight over in California. It's been dark here since 5:30 p.m. Well, that's because it's shortly after 5 p.m. here. You're probably on the East Coast, right? I'm on the West Coast. It's the same thing. It's just, we're 3 hours behind. You know what? You can make it funny and say, we're slow over here, right? We're really slow, right? So anyway, Judge Stacy could rule on the papers and fully outright outright, what do you call it, fully outright deny the defendant's motion to dismiss slash anti-slap, or she could still fully dismiss my case. But what's happened, and you tell me the probability of what's really going on, right? Again, a future hearing has been set on February 3rd. That's part of the regular case. That, in my opinion, would not be filed unless the judge already had some idea that at least part of the case will survive, maybe the whole thing. She'll trim part of the case, consolidate it, and let it go through. The bottom line is whether she rules on the paper and the motion to dismiss anti-slap is denied. Okay? That means the case will move forward, or she could partially deny it, and as long as part of my case moves forward, we immediately head into discovery, right? Or she could still want to have a hearing on January 9th for 1 hour and have us present everything, but she's been briefed by her staff and she's looked at it herself, and she pretty much knows what to ask and ensure that everything is handled to clear up lots of the mess regarding the docket of this case in that 1 hour hearing, right? And again, even if just one of my causes of action survive, we move into discovery, right? So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Realistically, if she decides to rule on the papers and then vacate, meaning a court fancy term for cancel the January 9th hearing, that could happen. Again, we've got a hearing scheduled now on February 3rd for the regular part of the case. Nothing to do with the anti-slap motion to dismiss. And to the defendant, I mean, why are you even filing this stuff if you already know that you're going to, if you think you already know you're going to outright get my case dismissed? It's a fair question that I really wish he would ask his own audience, which I know he won't, because it's going to make him look like he's contradicting himself. He's going to twist it. And the bottom line is there's no way to twist it. Right? He's been talking like he's so confident about getting my case dismissed outright at the motion to dismiss anti-slap. And then he goes and files motions regarding, evidence that would only be necessary in discovery once the case surpasses the motion to dismiss anti-slap. Do you realize? I don't think he realizes that at the motion to dismiss anti-slap, it's not an evidence hearing. It's to see if my complaint is valid. The judge may ask me to show a few examples of my defamation claims. But this is not about discovery. He's already trying to put motions, he's already trying to place sanctions on me through a motion regarding evidence that would be needed for discovery once the case would move past his motion to dismiss anti-slap. In essence, in my opinion, and he'll maybe him and his audience will realize it. In my opinion, him requesting this second hearing and filing those papers conflicted his motion to dismiss. What's the judge going to see? Or, what's the judge already seen and the judicial assistant? He files a motion to dismiss anti-slap, but he's requesting a hearing as if it would be denied. Right? It doesn't make any sense. I can't believe a person can go through life without a soul and no ability to love or be loved. Every gesture of kindness. Yeah. No, I'm not here to try to convince anyone to be anything besides themselves. And if this is who these people are because they've consistently behaved this way, then in my opinion, it's a character flaw. And those types of people, you can't help them. I wouldn't even be acknowledging these types of people if they weren't harming me constantly in a very massive way. And once this case is done, we're totally moving forward. We've already moved forward, but hey, if I want to teach a lesson regarding this and share with people what's going on as it's happening, because other people have dealt with this before and other people may deal with this in the future, right? They already harassed me so much about supporting Eli. Who's harassing you? Let me ask you, Angel. Who's harassing you about supporting me? Can you just come out and tell me, listen, no time for games. Tell me who is it specifically. Put it in the chat, please. I removed it in case they are not here watching right now. Do you know that's a sock account? Angel. Let me politely share something with you here. That Kit C channel, right? Okay. That channel has been trolling me for ages. I don't even know why you would entertain them to comment on your channel and not just block them when you know they're a known troll. I don't care. If you want to let them spam your chat, if you want to let them talk shit about me on your channel, I don't care. I'll handle that. I'll screenshot that because that person is just amplifying defamation for the defendant and then the other woman I was mentioning too. Well, you know what? You can choose to support whoever you want. These people are very they're very unproductive members of society, in my opinion, Angel. And you're choosing to entertain them. You're dealing with some very mentally and emotionally unstable people. You're entertaining trolls and sock accounts. I'm going to come over here. There's some people coming by, so I'm going to wait. That's on you. And why do you care? They're anonymous, right? That's exactly what's going to be happening once my case passes the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, which, we now know that it's going to be passing through, or else that hearing would not have been set. Right? So once that happens, we go into discovery, and guess what happens at that point? We automatically enter discovery. And, oh, I'm sure the guy that's running his own stream right now will come and watch the replay. It's up to him. It doesn't matter. No big deal. Hey, whatever, you know. Here's what's going to happen once we enter discovery. There's a procedure to get the information. Here's what's going to happen. The first thing I'm going to do is email the defendant with interrogatories. What that means is I get to email him and ask him to provide the information I'm seeking before I have to get a court order for it, right? So what I will do, and I'm telling you this, what I will do is I will email him. He'll probably deny me, but I have to do this in the order to show good faith, right? I will email him the same list and probably a few others regarding accounts that he knows who the people are, and other soccer accounts that if he knows who they are or they happen to be him, I'm not accusing him, but if they happen to be him, that he needs to identify any one of those accounts that he knows with full names, addresses, phone numbers, etc. That's what an interrogatory is. Now, that's also going to include his internet girlfriend that's been amplifying what he's been putting out on me, amplifying the defamation. Okay? And I've got all the past screenshots, not just recent ones where she hasn't been slandering me, but I have screenshots that go back 6 months, a year, and a lot in between, all within the statute of limitations. So I would be asking him through an email interrogatories the information of his online girlfriend and the other soccer accounts. Now, what's going to happen probably is he's going to say he may not respond, right? He's going to have 30 days to respond. Is that him, really? Who's watching you right now? Who's watching you right now, and how do you know that they're talking about you? Are they live talking about you? Are you going back and forth between streams? Angels, what's going on? You need to be more specific and more clear when you say something. Okay? How do you know she's watching? Is she in the chat of the guy that's doing the live? You're going back and forth. You see, here's the thing. Oh, she commented on your YouTube? You can ban her if you want. Yeah, do you want to keep entertaining, harassing people on your channel? How about do me a favor? Can you screenshot the information, Angels, and then send that to me? And I will just ban her. Well, then you know what, Angels? If you want to continue getting harassed over you supporting me, then don't block these people. Then allow them to keep harassing you. That's your problem, not mine. I'm not getting mad. I'm just saying it's stupid. If you have a policy of don't block anyone, no matter how much they harass or defame you or someone else, I mean, honestly, that's not something that that I agree with. That's on you. To be quite honest with you, that's a pretty unreasonable policy to have. I'm not entertaining what you're talking about. I'm just telling you what's going on. I understand what's going on. And what I'm telling you is that you're entertaining harassment, bullying, and slander by not banning anyone. That's exactly what you're saying, in other words. If you're good with that, that's on you. I'm not good with that. Now, hey, we can agree to disagree and we're still good. I'm just saying, I think most other people here in this chat would be saying, why are you entertaining that? Why are you allowing these people to distract you? And now it's distracting my show. Do you understand how that goes, angels? I'm not triggered here. I'm not upset. They're trying to get you, they're trying to get me triggered at you, and I'm not. I don't care what they say or do. I care about people doing the right thing. If people are here for the right reasons and they're entertaining harassment and bullying because they don't want to ban anyone because they think that's freedom of speech, you're wrong about that. Right? So you want to deal with harassment and bullying and slander because you think it's going to help your channel engagement better? I mean, is that what it's all about? Well, then keep blocking them. Use block words. There's a lot more you can do than you're doing, Angel. Angel, I'm done with this conversation. Listen, respect, it's all good. Respect, we're going to agree to disagree and move on. There's a much better way you can handle it. You're just choosing not to. It's your choice. So continue to deal with the harassment and bullying and allowing people to amplify their garbage of me on your channel. Right? That's exactly what you're doing. You do you. Okay? That woman is severely triggered because her and the rest of those people are boxed in. Legally boxed in. They got nowhere to go. And discovery's coming. After interrogatories, this guy is going to basically give me the finger, right? What's going to happen, he's going to basically give me the finger. Right? I'm going to wait 30 days. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to let him know. I'm going to file a motion to compel production of evidence. So I'm going to put that right in front of Judge Stacy. Judge Stacy, here's my motion to compel discovery. Evidence for discovery, right? He has not replied. Can I get a court order for you to get him to reply? She'll probably approve that. And then if he doesn't comply with that, he'll be dealing with sanctions from the judge. But then at that point, I'll be filing a motion to subpoena Google and YouTube and have Judge Stacy court order the information. One way or another, this harassment and defamation and this campaign of people constantly, using sock accounts based off of a couple creators, a defendant, and that other woman that's been trying to intervene in the case improperly, eventually we'll get to the bottom of it. You could say whatever you want to say publicly to your channel. You could tell them the complete opposite. The thing is, this is real. This is moving forward. What the hell is that? I'm gonna come over the other way here. There's a dog. There's a little dog in that car. And the windows are rolled down. That dog could jump out and try to attack me. Those little dogs, they wouldn't be like a big dog biting you, but they could still do some damage. Yeah. They don't ever bring up anything important. It's always nonsensical BS. For your own sake, Angels Asylum, for your own sake, you should probably consider removing all egregious negativity from your channel. Listen, there's a difference between people disagreeing And there's a difference also between people using your channel as a way to try to get to me because you're a mod here, right? You have a choice to allow them to do that to you or not, right? Right? I don't agree with it. And here's the thing. All I'm going to tell you is this, angels. If these people were coming here and doing that to you, I wouldn't allow that. I would never allow that. I don't think anyone else here would allow that. The fact that you allow that really, really behooves me. Because your answer is, oh, they'll just come back on a sock account. Of course they will. You can ban them again. There's a deeper reason why you're not doing it. Maybe you're one of those really huge First Amendment, people, which I'm all for the First Amendment too. But even that has its limitations, right? I think you want to hear what they have to say. I think you're curious about what they're saying. It's not that you agree with them or feel it's right. I think you just are curious to hear what they say. Plus, it gives your channel some engagement, right? Well, use some block words. Hold most messages for review. You have tools. And the reason why they're harassing you right now is because you're here. Because they're triggered that they're all going to be exposed during discovery of my case. Right? These people are really, really triggered, and they're all going to be stopped when I put this right in front of the circuit judge, Judge Stacy. Right? It's only a matter of time. And it's not fazing me. It is what it is. I'm just saying you don't have to tolerate it if you don't want to. You might get hammered today just because of the fact that you talked about it publicly. You chatted about it publicly. Now I'm talking about it. And now it's basically fueling them to come hammer you more. They're going to hammer you now. Angels, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you got to use some stricter settings, like hold all messages for review or hold potentially inappropriate messages for review. That's on you. I'm not going to tell you how to handle that. This is YouTube. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring this up. Just wanted you to know. It's all good. I don't care if you brought it up or not, right? I don't care that these people are actually over there talking shit about me. They're probably even defaming me. Here's the thing, angels. There's one thing. If you see them defaming me, accusing me of things that aren't true, that's defamation. I would hope that you would moderate that properly. I would hope you, quite frankly, I'm not here to control what you do. And I'm not always actively going on everyone's channel looking at the comments. I'm just saying it would be a common sense, common courtesy thing to do, right? So we're going to start to wrap this up, then I'm going to go home because Don and I have a couple Law and Orders to watch tonight. Law and Order SBU is back, and the regular Law and Order, they were on hiatus last week because they had this special Wicked show. The next Wicked movie in the series is coming out, I believe, next week. I got to order tickets. Don and I are going to go watch it in the movies again in Cinemark XD 4K, D-Box seats, and Real D 3D. I just thought you want to know how much they harass you and the supporters you have, since you talk about. Well, I mean, I don't need to know how they're harassing me on other channels. Like they're not even harassing me; they're harassing you. You understand, angels? You're not looking at it the right way. Like, if they're coming to your channel and trying to use your channel as a place to try to harass me, they're not really harassing me. They're harassing you. I don't let them harass me here. You understand? There's a big difference there. Now, you brought it up. Like, yeah, they're trolling you because you're here. that's something you can handle. I appreciate you mentioning it. And all I was trying to tell you is that, hey, you can just block them, and then they're going to keep coming back. And they might come back on 50 sock accounts. But set stronger privacy settings or comment settings, and then just ban them. Eventually they'll stop. That's all. I mean, there's nothing more I can say. Thank you for making me aware, though. Not a big deal. No, they're just trolling her because they can't get to me, and they're triggered because they're going to be exposed in discovery. Right? They're triggered because, a future hearing was set almost 1 month after the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP. Right? And again, like I said earlier, when a future hearing is set after a motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP, is active and moving forward. Just think about it. Think about it, right? Some of the smartest people in the world are attorneys and judges are attorneys. They were once an attorney, right? That's the requirement to be a judge. You have to be an attorney. You have to have a law degree, right? You have to have a law license, right? They're some of the smartest people in the world. They've seen every single kind of BS and manipulation, right? And all this YouTube nonsense coming from the other side of the defendant, all of the filings that they filed compared to mine are professional, cool, calm, and collected, right? Right? Formatted properly, right? I've made very, very few procedural mistakes, and apologized, corrected them, and again, I made very few procedural mistakes. I take the time to double, triple, quadruple check everything before submitting, right? I do my research. It takes a lot of time, but I'd rather take longer to file stuff and get it right the first time than shotgun a file like the other guy was doing, the defendant, and then, just create chaos on the docket. Just because he's good at creating chaos on YouTube doesn't mean the docket needs to be full of chaos as well, right? Right now, I see them backing away because Eli's taking action. Oh, so you're telling me that he stopped talking about me and then he started talking about Natasha? Oh. Okay. Well, I'm going to be up probably pretty late tonight. Dawn's going to probably go to bed before me. And I know you're up pretty late too, ODN. I'll look into everything and I'll let you know between after the show and then later tonight. I like to watch shows with my lady until she goes to sleep. She typically goes to bed before me. Sometimes I'm up an extra hour or two than her, and sometimes we just go to bed at the same time. It just depends. But important stuff regarding the case and stuff, she's been understanding that, got to do what you got to do, right? And you're a part of our team, ODN. And, I enjoy, consulting things with you and talking out what the right thing is to do. Like, what people don't realize is that ODN's a pretty reasonable guy. He's a decent guy. He comes from a decent family, right? And the only reason why him and I overreacted in the past is because we were pinned and pitted against each other by the same defendant and this whole group, right? This has been ongoing for the both of us. And here's the thing, again, like I've been saying all along, yes, I have been wronged here, and yes, I am doing this to get relief and to clear my reputation so, I can move things forward, right, through YouTube and other aspects of social media. But I'm also doing it for people like ODN and everyone else that's been harmed, either by these people or if it's a different group, at least the story may help you understand what's really going on and how you can better handle this, regardless of your role in this situation, right? That's why I like to share my stories, you know? Yeah, he's scared of you reporting his harassment to the courts. Of course he is, because he's already done more than enough, right? So he's watching every word. He's trying to. So are you saying, ODN? You know, he actually went into, you know, that woman that he's closely associated with, the other woman, the one with the witch channel, right? He said that I'm going to respond to Eli tonight. Okay, maybe he made a quick response with no defamation and the audience got bored. Like, again, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just stating what's going on. When he's not defaming me, no one's watching him, right? When he's not defaming me or defacing my picture or doing something like adversely wrong to me, no one watches him at the level that they do when he does those things to me, right? That's exactly why we're in court. So yeah, he doesn't want to give the court, he doesn't want to give me any more than he already has. There's already more than enough, but I mean, come on. Like, at what point are you going to cut the bleeding and put a Band-Aid on and start letting the wound heal, I mean, right? You know what I'm saying? $82 minutes an hour and 22 minutes. Oh, you're welcome, ODN. Anytime, man. Anytime. Start getting your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in just a few minutes. I have a lot of love for everyone. Respectfully, maturely, professionally, Don says, if you feel your life is broken, it's up to you to pick up the pieces and put them back together. Have a happy and safe Friday night. Amen, babe. You know, your inspirational quotes have been fantastic lately. I mean, everything you do is fantastic, but I really love how you're ending these shows like that. That's becoming like your signature trademark. I love you. Mad respect. Mad respect. Oh, and just one more thing, you know. I'll say this again one more time to the defendant's supposed internet girlfriend that's been making, mile-long postings on me, right? Hey, no worries. You didn't slander me in your post. Yes, you highly insulted me, like I mentioned earlier in the show. But honestly, what are you really getting out of that? Like, honestly, you're not taking this serious. You don't understand that this is a real circuit civil case. And I've been wronged. Whether you think that I've been wronged or not, my case is still active and alive, and it's going to be heading into discovery, whether you like it or not. Which severely puts your anonymity and other people's anonymity at risk to protect myself. I have the legal right to compel the judge to put out a court order to unmask these sock accounts, so that way we can hold you folks accountable to stop the abuse, right? If you were in the same position, you would want the same outcome. Unfortunately, you're not in the same position. Unfortunately, supposedly, you fell in love with a man that is very abusive, in my opinion, and has harmed so many people, especially me, in many ways. He continues to do it, right? And you continue to sign off on that behavior, right? I'm going to tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing, not only to you, ma'am, his internet girlfriend, and to him, and to the woman that did the stream earlier, the one that's the witch, right? And to any one of the sock accounts, and to anyone else creating content on this, right? You're all talking about, oh, I'm not going to get the subpoena and this and that. And you're all really triggered. Translation, you're scared to death of the subpoenas. You're praying to God that somehow the defendant miraculously wipes out my entire case with his motion to dismiss slash anti-slap, which is not going to happen because the case is already moving forward. There's a hearing scheduled in February, right? So discovery is real, and it's scaring you to death because you know what you've said and done could be unmasked. So it could be unmasked through a court order to Google and YouTube by Judge Stacy. And you don't think I have more than enough? You don't think I have screenshots from all of those anonymous accounts defaming me multiple times? You think, see, lately what you folks are posting is insulting with no defamation. I've got the screenshots as recent as weeks ago and last several months where you've all been constantly defaming me, right? See, that's what I'm going to send to Judge Stacy. If I have to go as far and file a motion to compel, Google and YouTube to provide these items, a court order, right? Or not a motion to compel, a motion to produce, right? Or maybe they do. I have to look it up. Maybe it is a motion to compel when you subpoena the platforms. I'll figure out the right form. I know where to find that information. I just don't have it off the top of my head right now. But that's what you guys are worried about, right? So hey, you know what? Continue to go on your little tirades or your long tirades. Continue to say what you're going to say. Continue to get super triggered. I'm not telling you to. I'm just saying, if that's what makes you happy, if you getting triggered over nonsense makes you feel better about yourself, who am I to tell you how to feel? That's on you, right? But then you're showing your behavior. You're showing your cards. And you're beginning to realize that your actions have consequences, even if you're trying to hide behind a mask on the internet to continue supporting someone with false statements as facts, defamation. And hey, that includes, hey, here's the thing. You know what I think also, that other woman, the witch woman, you know what I think you're afraid of? I think you're afraid that your sock accounts are going to be found in discovery. You see, here's the thing. If none of you have done anything wrong on sock accounts, you have nothing to worry about. The reason why you're triggered, in my opinion, is because you folks have done so much. You've coordinated this massive attack. It's been a seek, destroy, and conquer quest all along, run by the defendant. And you folks have massively participated. And now I'm taking back what's always been mine. Hey, listen, you can convince people whatever the hell you want to convince them out here on YouTube. Try to convince the same thing to Judge Stacy in this case. Let's see what happens. With that being said, I got to go. 89 minutes. We're about to get to 90 minutes, an hour and a half. Good night, everyone. Have a great night, says Tia. Tia, thank you for being here, Angels. I would love for you to join us. Dawn, on what? Oh, yeah. Oh, babe, you said triggered 14 out of 10. Oh, yeah, I put through ChatGPT earlier. Was telling me at this current time the defendant is triggered on a scale of 1 to 10, 14. Like ChatGPT, I've given it so much information. He's like analyzing this guy like there's no tomorrow, right? Analyzing every move of the case, every piece of content, comments, everything. I use ChatGPT. It's very analytical. It takes time, but you feed it the right thing, then and then it's really good stuff, right? Gives you a lot of good insight. But I asked ChatGPT after his stream tonight, more than likely, how triggered do you feel he will be? They said on a scale of 1 to 10, 20. I'm like, that's funny, man. That's funny. Interestingly enough, we've still been able to carry 30 plus people here, even with him at the same time. So, not too bad. Hey, slowly but surely, things are coming back. And oh, by the way, I'm working on something else. I'm working on something else. I'm not going to say what it is. Only Don knows what it is right now. I don't know. Maybe I'll let ODN and Sandra and Tia know. I probably will let them know later tonight or tomorrow. But I'm working on something else because we're going to stop this entire harassing and defamatory ring of people that just won't leave us alone to just let us run our YouTube channel and be able to reach our proper target audience. 91 minutes. Love you all. An hour and 31 minutes. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.